The Chicago Bulls have some really difficult decisions to make this offseason as they need to choose, are they going to tank, are they going to stay in mediocrity, or are they going to finally make some serious changes that could propel them to a potential championship team? I'm your host, Joey Mercer, and we're going to break down an article from Bleacher Report that discusses 3 free agency targets that have been revealed for the Chicago Bulls. But before we get into that there today, I just want to say that about 76% of you that watch these videos are not subscribed to the channel. So if you weren't already subscribed, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell for notifications, and every time we upload, you'll be able to stay up to date with your Chicago Bulls, their takes on them, and all the news that you won't find anywhere else but here on Bulls Digest. So without further ado, we'll get into the topic at hand there today, being major off-season targets. So it's no secret that the Bulls kind of fumbled the bag, so to speak, at the trade deadline and made absolutely no moves, which really didn't help them with injuries that have happened since or even at that time. And then on top of that, they were a mediocre team back at that time and still are. I mean, Kobe White right now is down with an injury. Hopefully will come back soon. We have Patrick Williams out for the season, as well as Zach Lavine out for the season, and Lonzo Ball's been out for about 2 years. There's a lot of issues with injury on this team, and they really should have probably made a move at deadline, but these moves could definitely work for the Bulls come this offseason, and I'm going to be breaking down my opinions on them and what direction I think the Bulls should really go in. This one started out by Andy Bailey saying, realistic, optimistic, and dream-free agent targets for every NBA team. Now, he's saying right here the potential spending power for the Bulls under the non-taxpayers mid-level is $12.9 million. The reason will be Mo Wagner on a team option. With Andre Drummond set to potentially enter free agency, Nikola Vucevic is the only true big man under contract for the Bulls next season. Another center would help, and Mo Wagner has quietly developed and one of the league's more reliable backups. And this season, he's averaging 11, 4.5 boards in just 18 minutes while shooting 67% on twos. And this is honestly the breakout season, so to speak, for Mo Wagner. The best season of his career by a decent margin so far, as we just mentioned, put up about 11 points a game, and the field goal percentage overall is about 60%, not just on twos. We can actually see here when we look and break down his stats that he is playing 18 minutes a game, which is just shy of a career high last year. He also played 18.6 for Washington in his second season. And yeah, I mean, it's been nothing but good for him. He hasn't started as many games as he did last year, but on about the same amount of field goals. I mean, it's 0.1 the difference. He's shooting almost 10% better. The three-point percentage is still around the same, but that field goal percentage is quite a drastic change, which is great to see, and he can still shoot free throws, which he's been good at for his entire career. Putting up about 11 and 5 with an assist is very good, and he is a solid offensive big man that in the right situation I think would be able to stretch the floor for a team like the Bulls. He has shot just around league average throughout his career, a little bit below. As you can see there, it's actually 32% from 3, but definitely if he's got the right shooting coach, if he goes with the Bulls system, things work out a bit more. It's happened with players when they hover around just being about mediocre to becoming at least league average or solid enough to knock down that shot. He could be a solid replacement if Andre Drummond doesn't come back. Gives us a little bit more mobility off of the bench where Vooch isn't the most mobile big man around. And I do think that is a very reasonable and solid option as long as the Magic are willing to let him go where he is Franz's brother and Franz is a top player on the Orlando Magic. I wouldn't say he's quite the franchise players. I would probably say that is Paolo Banchero, the former number 1 overall pick who was an all-star this season. But Franz is still a very important piece for the Magic, and maybe Mo and him could be a potential package deal down the road. Next person we can see here is the optimistic take being Kelly Oubre Jr. In the event the Bulls aren't able to move Lavine and tip off a rebuild this summer, Oubre Jr. is the kind of multi-positional wing who could help them continue to compete for play-in berths. His three-point shooting still leaves something to be desired, but Oubre's slashing competitiveness could be a boost to Chicago's depth. Now, I don't think the Bulls should try to stay in this play-in race. That's not exactly what I'd want to do, especially like keeping Lavine, then also adding in Kelly Oubre Jr. That's a very strange take in my opinion. I don't agree with that one at all. I wouldn't go after that one if I were the Bulls. I would much prefer Mo Wagner if Drummond is the league of course, and even if he wasn't, maybe Mo can play some minutes at the 4 and some big ball lineups. It would definitely add some security there at that position. We've needed some floor spacing, and Mo could definitely develop into that, in my opinion. Right now, he's mediocre, like we just mentioned, but could become better. And then when we look at Oubre Jr., he really is a shot chucker, sometimes efficient, sometimes not. Struggling a little bit this year. He started off to a hot start, then had the accident, of course, and ever since with injuries on the team, him having to shoot more and so on and so forth, it hasn't been near as efficient. I don't like the look of Kelly Oubre Jr. over Mo Wagner for the reason of just fit overall. I don't really think that we'd need another shooting guard / SF on this team more so than a big. I would definitely go the Mo Wagner route there. But let's check in on how Kelly Oubre was playing this season. You can see there that this year he's in 55 games. He started 39 of those, a lot to do with injuries. 30 minutes a game, 45% from the field, just 30 from 3 on 4.6 attempts. Struggled from 3 again last year, and on his career is below average 3-point shooter, but takes a lot of them, which is why that one is a little bit more Chucker-esque than Mo Wagner on a low amount of attempts. He's still managing to put up 15 points and 5 rebounds, but only 1 assist at the small forward position there this season. He also plays some shooting guard, of course, but has started a lot of the career that he's had so far at small forward. He is shooting 53% on twos, but it's just that struggling factor of him knocking down 3-point shots consistently. Do we want a guy that can't consistently knock down the 3? Not really at that position. I would definitely pass on Oubre Jr. If there were other options on the table. Next, we can see here the dream would be Buddy Hield. The Bulls are in the bottom half of the league in both threes per game and 3-point percentage. So a volume outside shooter like Hield at 3.1 threes with a 40% 3-point percentage for his career would do a lot to open up the middle of the floor for Lavine and Vooch. Now, this Buddy Hield situation, yes, I do agree that would work better if Lavine were to stay. They could have Lavine probably play the 3. They could then have Buddy Hield at the 2. But the thing that the article doesn't mention here is, what if we re-sign DeMar DeRozan? What if Patrick Williams is kept on the team? What if Lavine is moved? What will happen there? That's what's really interesting to me. I do think that Buddy Hield would be a solid fit on the team because he is one of the best 3-point shooters of all time. If you don't believe me, look at the records he's held or still holds to this day for 3-point shooting. He has really helped revolutionize that game along with Steph Curry and hasn't really been given enough credit for doing so. He fits pretty much every team, in my opinion. He is a poor defender, but you can definitely fit in a knockdown 3-point shooter in pretty well every team in the NBA and just try to put defenders around him. I do think Buddy Hield would fit this team regardless if Lavine were to stay or go, and that definitely is a dream. But if they are able to acquire Buddy Hield, definitely something I think the Bulls should go over. That would be my number 1 option out of those guys. Number 2 would be Mo Wagner because I think positionally that makes the most sense for the Bulls. But why not try to acquire both? They should be able to do something like that. Both players, Buddy Hield probably want a little bit more money, but I do think they could get Mo Wagner on a bit of a lower deal for sure, maybe 10 to 12 per. Yeah, try to roll the dice on those two. I'd stay away from Kelly Oubre Jr. And overall, if I was this team, I would definitely try to tank on the fly, if you know what I mean. Do a bit of a retool. I think that signing DeMar DeRozan is really a situational thing. There are talks that he could sign a extension before the entrance of free agency, but I really wouldn't rely on that all too much. I mean, Vooch is still on this team. Lavine, hopefully they'd be able to trade away in the offseason. Kind of see what the young guys can do. Dosuma's breaking out as of late. There's lots of guys really stepping up on this team, such as Kobe White this season, who's probably going to win Most Improved Player. And let's really see how it plays out. Really show the telltale all of the tape and see exactly how this team can mesh together if they make some moves. First off, I would definitely start with Lavine. I think they need to get rid of him and try to make an adjustment there right away. This has been your host, Joey Mercer. Let me know what you think about this one down below in the comment section. Like the video if you did like the video, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you all in the next one. Sign now.